we had professional football being played during the spring and the summer, but you probably didn't know about it due to the lack of marketing that this league received. The UFL Championship, I watched the first three quarters of it last night. The Defenders destroyed the Michigan Panthers 56-34. And this was one of the most lifeless championship games that you'll ever watch. And for a league that is co-owned by The Rock, you would have expected a larger turnout and more publicity around this league than what it received. And the UFL, what it is a merger between the XFL and the USFL that happened like a year or two ago. And this was my first time watching the UFL since the merger. And during this game, there were a lot of things that I liked and some things that I didn't really dislike. And watching this thing early on for the first 5 to 8 minutes, I felt like the UFL was junior varsity NFL. It felt like I was watching an NFL preseason game, which there's nothing wrong with preseason football. And I believe that there is an audience for professional football in the spring. If you are somebody like me that just eats, breathes, and sleeps football, the UFL is for you. And there is a market for spring football. If you don't like watching baseball, can't blame you, or you're not that big into hockey, the NBA season is starting to wind down, the UFL is a pretty good watch. But I just can't escape feeling that I'm watching a watered down version of the NFL. The game is a lot slower, the quarterback play is a lot worse, but what I do like about the UFL is that I love the access that they give you during the game, on the sidelines. The NFL definitely should take some notes from that, because the NFL, what makes it so great, outside of the talent on the field, some of the best athletes on the world play in the NFL, is that it's a television product. You get a better experience watching the NFL from your living room than what you get watching college football from your living room. Because what college football is more about tradition, pageantry, the stadium atmosphere. No college football game feels the same when you watch it being played at a different stadium every single week if you go in person. But with the NFL, with how these stadiums are built, there's nothing really unique about watching any NFL team if you go to the game in person. But when you watch it on television, though, it's just such a spectacle, which is what makes it so great. And with the UFL interviewing players and coaches during the games before they put in the play call on a crucial moment, or asking a quarterback what was going through their head during a certain touchdown play that they had, it gives you a special insight and a special connectivity to where you feel a lot closer to the game. And that's what I like about the UFL. I believe that's what makes this league a lot different compared to the NFL, because you just feel like you're closer to the action watching the UFL than what you do when you watch the NFL on Sundays. And my biggest problem with this league is that it wasn't marketed enough. And it's funny because ESPN was broadcasting this game, and they've had the NBA Finals played this past week. I didn't see UFL Championship commercial during the finals. So it seems as if ESPN, Fox, and The Rock don't care about this league, and they don't want you to care about it. And with the crowd turnout, I was just asking to myself, for this to be a championship game, why does it feel like it's being played at a middle school football stadium? That's essentially what it felt like. They had a pretty big stadium, but it only looked like 50 or 90 people showed up to the game. And moving forward, if the UFL is going to suffice and is going to be feasible, the people at Fox already said that it's here to stay. Nothing's going to happen to it. This league needs more publicity. It needs way better marketing than what it received this year. Because I would have watched the start of the season all the way until the very end if I knew about it. I just so how happened to be putting in my parlay, and I saw a UFL Championship, and I was like, UFL Championship? Hold up. We actually had spring football being played, and I didn't know about it? And it's just a travesty because, like I said, it's not the NFL. When you watch the players, they're not as talented. It's kind of like juiced up college football on steroids. Hakeem Butler, remember him when he was going off at Iowa State? Well, he dominates this league every single year. He's like Calvin Johnson of spring football. Jordan Ta'amu, he's like the Tom Brady of the spring football leagues. But for some reason, though, they aren't able to stick on an NFL roster. And that's for a very good reason. And there is a big talent discrepancy between the UFL and the NFL to where even if this was a developmental league, I still couldn't view it as that. Because it's just too many notches below the NFL to view it in that light. The UFL should be viewed as its own thing. Them trying to dominate the spring football market. Football is the most popular sport in the world. The Super Bowl has been the most watched television event for the last 2-3 decades. And there is a core audience of football fans out there that will watch this league if they actually knew about it. College football, yeah, you got the spring games, at least a few of them that still are getting played. But the UFL does have a market. And I know that some people are going to be like, I don't want to watch a bunch of NFL has-beens or wannabe NFL players. That's cool. If spring football isn't for you, you don't have to watch. But there is a core audience that the UFL can appeal to if they take more initiative of promoting this league. And it's co-owned by Fox Sports and The Rock, which is why it's so shocking that it wasn't pushed a lot more. The AAF, I saw that thing everywhere. The Alliance of American Football, it was a spring league that came around back in 2018, 2019, I believe. Maybe a lot, you know, maybe before that. But what made the AAF so good is that at the time, nobody really thought about making a professional spring football league. And the AAF kind of kickstarted this new trend when you have all of these startup leagues, but then they wouldn't be able to survive with the UFL having staying power because of the corporations that own this league, the money that's being put into it. They are thinking about expanding to more teams. It would make a lot of sense for it to be pushed a lot more than what it was. And I had a good time watching. It's not completely awful. You know, I don't think it was awful at all. I just couldn't escape the thoughts of I'm watching the great value brand version of the NFL. And it can be a lot better than that if it was just marketed and promoted a lot better. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the UFL, my first time ever watching. Leave your thoughts on the UFL if you watched any games from this season in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this league and what you feel they could do a lot better to kind of create their own lane for themselves, if that's how you want to put it. But hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, the podcast as well. You can find this episode and all of our previous ones on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast from. The JT Sports Podcast is available.